Hey everybody, Denise with Lazy K Homestead. Well, I took a little break from canning and I thought I would go ahead and bake this morning. And I've already baked a pumpkin pie. Got it over here. Looks pretty good from our pumpkin. It's in August. I know it's not quite fall yet, but Willis was wanting some pumpkin pie, so I went ahead and made that this morning. If you guys want the pie crust recipe, just let me know. I'll be glad to share it. I do have it in another video. What I'm going to make now is lemon bars, and I am going to make this really easy lemon bar recipe. You can also buy it in a box if you want to go that route. It's just as delicious, but this is super easy. You make a little shortbread and then you cook that, and then you go ahead and you make your lemon. And I don't know why my camera's going dark and light, so I don't know if you guys can see that or not. But anyways, let's get started on the shortbread. I have my oven preheated at 325. Okay, what we're going to use is, I have here 2 sticks or 1 cup of salted butter. Now you can use unsalted, but you will have to add salt to it. This way, if I use salted butter, I don't have to use salt. And it's what I had on hand. Okay, so there's that. Gonna mix that around. And then what I'm gonna do is add the vanilla extract, and that's 2 teaspoons. This is pure vanilla. Just go ahead and put it in like that. Oh, it smells so good. Let me put this down a little bit more. I think you guys can see. Okay. All right. And now what I'm going to do, I've got 2 cups of all-purpose flour, and I like to use White Lily, as you guys know. Love it. It's a soft, really soft flour. And 1/2 cup of white sugar. So I'm just going to go ahead and sift that together. Now, if you guys don't have a sifter like this, you can just put it through a colander or something like that. It just kind of helps make it softer, and if there's any kind of lumps or bumps in there that you want to take out, you can, and it also incorporates the sugar and the flour really nicely. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to pour our dry ingredients into our wet ingredients. And I'm just going to mix that around. It's going to be a thick batter. It smells so good. Now I have a 13 by 9 or a 9 by 13 pan already ready to go, and I have it lined with parchment paper. You can see it's really nice and thick. Okay, let me go ahead and get that over here. And we are just going to go ahead and press this mixture down into our 9 by 13. Okay, I've got my 9 by 13 glass pan lined with parchment paper, and you want to have some overhanging pieces here, just like this. I went ahead and cut it to size, because what you're going to do after it's all nice and cooled and ready, you're going to be able to lift it up right out of here and cut it into pieces. Okay, we're just going to go ahead and put this shortbread in there. Now I'm going to use my hands to go ahead and just smooth this out all the way. You just want to get it as even as possible. Oh gosh, it smells so good. Just one big shortbread cookie. I might have to flour my hands just a teeny bit because it is kind of sticky. And I don't want them to be super flour, but just enough to where this won't stick. Okay. Now I'm going to just use the bottom of this just getting it to the edges. There we go. Everything's good there. I've got a little flour in there, but I think we'll be fine. You want to get it to the edges here because you're going to be pouring your lemon mixture in here for our next step after this is baked. Okay. I'm just kind of going around here and just making sure that it's all kind of the, you know, you want it pretty much the same level throughout. That way it's not high on one end and thin on the other. So it might take a minute or two just to get that, and that flour's kind of incorporating itself that I dropped in there, which is good. All right, I'm just gonna, yep, it looks good to me. Okay, so like I said, I've got my oven preheated at 325, so I'm gonna go ahead and put it in there and go about 10 minutes. And then we'll be back and go on to the next step. Okay, so while the crust is baking, we're gonna go ahead and make the filling. And this is a non-cooked filling, so it's gonna be simple, easy. The curd will form in the oven once you pour it on top of the baked pie crust, or shortbread, I should say. I got pie crust on the brain from making that, but it is a crust. Okay, so I wanted to show you a couple things here that might make it a lot easier in your kitchen. In case you don't have a lot of the fancy tools, you can use some things that you may already have on hand. Now this calls for 4 lemons, which should equal 1 cup of fresh lemon juice, and it does call for fresh lemon juice. I've not made it with the store-bought lemon juice, but I'm sure it'll taste okay. But remember, that's concentrated, and you may want to add a little water to that. That's just my suggestion. Okay, so let me put the tripod down, show you what I'm doing here. Now this calls for, like I said, 4 lemons and 6 eggs. So let me do the lemons first. Okay, so what I've done, I've got my juicer here. Now if you guys don't have a juicer, you can juice by hand. Just remember to get the seeds out. This was real cheap. I think I got it at Walmart or Dollar General for $1, and it saves me. Okay, so we'll put that aside, and we've got our lemons here. Now I like a little lemon zest in my curd. So now that's not the recipe exactly, but that's my recipe. So what I wanted to show you, if you don't have one of the nice microplanes or zester, if you've got one of these box graters, well, here's your zester, and here's your zester. This is a finer zest than this, and I'm going to lift this up, and there's your zest right there. Beautiful, beautiful zest, and that's what I'm going to use, and it smells so good. So we'll set that aside, but I just wanted to show you that in case you think, well, I can't zest anything. Well, yes, you can. I've got a little bit here. Just make sure you get it in that box grater. Now, another trick, when you're juicing a lemon, if you have a microwave, you can microwave these for like 5 seconds. But I'm just rolling them because that's what I do. And they get soft, see? And what that's doing is already releasing that juice in there. So you can just go ahead and do this. And I only zested 2 of the lemons because that's all I needed. I may go ahead and zest the other 2 and I'll put that in the freezer for a later date. You can keep it in there for about a month. I wouldn't keep it any longer because it does turn brown. And there you go. And all these seeds just stay on here, which I like. I don't have to go fishing for them. These are just regular lemons wish I could grow a lemon tree here in Tennessee. I'm not in the correct part. If I was in western Tennessee where it's more tropical, I'm sure I could. Our temperature is zone 6B, so it fluctuates and it gets very cold, even in my greenhouse. Okay, it looks like I've got a half a cup. Now these, I did roll them before I started the video. Oh, that's a tough one. Beautiful lemons, though. And we're just continuing to juice our lemons. And this is going to be a really nice, tart, fresh lemon bar that will continue to give you the taste of summer, even though it's in August and everybody I know is ready for fall, except me and my daughter Holly. We love summer. Here in where we live, it doesn't really get up to 90 degrees. If it does, it's really odd. 85 maybe. Where I grew up in Virginia, 100 degrees was the norm. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and set that over in the sink, and I'll get rid of those seeds in a minute. So we should have a cup. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? And let me measure it out in my 1 cup measure. And guys, it's exactly 1 cup. 4 lemons, 1 cup. Isn't that beautiful? And I see a seed floating around in there. An escapee. Get out of there. Well, where did he go? Get in. Isn't that crazy? There he is. Okay. Wow, he was a really fine one, so I guess I'll forgive him. Oh, and it looks like he has a partner. All right, so we're good. Anyway, back at the ranch. Here is our lemon juice. All right, this recipe calls for 6 eggs. I went out and got eggs this morning. Beautiful hen eggs. Look at that. This is my 6th one right here. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to whisk them really fast with a fork, just so they're easier to combine in this recipe. I like to do that. Since I'm not putting this in a mixer, I'm mixing it all by hand just to make it a little bit easier for it all to incorporate. Okay. There's that. We'll put these 2 aside. We've got 2 cups of white sugar, and we've got a half a cup, I believe, of, no, pardon me, 6 tablespoons, which comes to a half a cup, because there it is, about a half a cup of all-purpose flour. So I'm just going to go ahead and again sift this. And let me show you, if you don't have a sifter, you can use something like this to sift with. That does perfectly fine. I got a set of them at Walmart with 3 sizes in one, and I believe it was under $10. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we are going to add the eggs into our dry ingredients. So I'm kind of going to make a well here. That'll make it's easier to incorporate that way. Just pour them all in there. And then I'm going to go ahead and add our lemon juice, all of it. And I'm going to add some of the zest, and then I'll keep some of the zest to sprinkle on top. Okay, so now what we're doing is we're just going to go ahead and mix this with a whisk. Oh, it smells so good. And what this makes is a curd that is not cooked. And it will cook in the oven. Just make sure that it's all mixed well. And there you go. Isn't that beautiful? The yellow color from the eggs and the lemon. So wonderful. All right, let me go ahead and just put that over there in the sink. Put my zest over here for a minute. And we're going to go ahead and check our crust. Okay, we've got our shortbread out of the oven, and I've let it cool. Not all the way. It's still a little warm, but let me show you what we're going to do here. This is a little different than some of the recipes. You just go ahead and you poke holes with a fork. And you don't want to go like all the way down to the bottom, so you have to kind of do it gently. And what this is going to do is ensure that that lemon curd mixture sticks to your crust. Okay, we've got our lemon curd mixture here mixed up, beautiful. Now, if you've had to let it sit, make sure that you stir it back up because the sugar does kind of sit at the bottom. But isn't that beautiful? And we are just going to go ahead and pour this right onto our shortbread. There you go. And like I said, I've got my zest, still a little bit of my zest. I just think this gives it kind of an interesting quality and gives it texture and taste. All right. Can never have too much lemon in my book. So now what we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and put this back in our preheated 325 degree oven. I don't know what that is Celsius, but we're going to go ahead and put that in. Let me get my pot holders. And we're going to go ahead and stick this in there. And we are going to cook this for about 25 minutes. Now, you may have to cook it a little bit longer, but you want it to still have a little jiggle, but not much when you bring it out, because it, like the pumpkin pie, when you bring a pumpkin pie out of the oven, you'll see maybe a teeny little bit of jiggle in there. That's what you want, because this is a custard and it's got eggs in it, and it will continue to cook and it'll set as it cools. So we'll be back in about 25 minutes. Okay, everybody, I've taken my lemon bars out of the oven. Now, they took about 27 minutes, but there they are. Oh, they smell so good, too. Yummy. Now, these need to cool. Let me go ahead and put this down so you actually see it. These need to cool for 2 hours. And then it says to put it in the refrigerator for the rest of the cooling. So the 2 hours is what it's going to be, to where this is completely cool and not be soggy when you put it in the refrigerator. So that is where we are right now. And oh gosh, I wish you could smell this. It smells so yummy. You can see I've got a lot of little air pocket bubbles. I'm not quite sure why that did that this time, but it looks good to me, because you're going to go ahead and after it's all cooled, you're going to top it with some powdered sugar. So that just gives it a little character, I think. So we'll go ahead and let this cool, and I'll pop it in the fridge. And then when you see me next, we'll have it all cut up and ready to eat. Okay, we'll see you soon. Okay, here it is, ready to be cut up. I topped it with powdered sugar. Thanks for watching.